Howdy folks, howdy.
What's going on?
Oh, let me get it brought up here.
I gotta do the same thing.
Let's see here, it's not there. I always have the hardest time finding it when I'm not on. Oh, there it is, now it pops right up. And we blurry. Let's see, we got Muddy Ducks, we got Mick, Brad. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
9:44 a.m. Friday in Australia.
I'm thinking today's Friday anyway.
I keep thinking it is too. What's going on, William?
What up?
Is it just this tablet, or you can tell me, is it blurry on yours? Why all of a sudden?
It's not really all that blurry to me. I mean, it looks like
because that's what I say. I guess it's this tablet.
might be.
Okay, so we ain't bad as I thought we were.
Nah, we're not as bad.
All right. Thank you. Bubba said I'm still ugly. So yeah, it must be. I need to change the resolution on this. Which this is just an El Cheapo something I bought at the Walmart a couple months back. Stanley Waddell 1874. What's up, JP?
What up?
What's going on, Avery? What was that?
Oh no.
Big crack in the ceiling. Hopefully we ain't got a skunk about to fall out of the ceiling. What's going on, Richard?
What up?
Man. We got some bear goodies in, finally some crossbow bolts that we tried to get since about summer of last year.
Yeah.
Got a whole about 12 packs of them, and I think a bow came in. What was it, a species? I didn't even look.
I think it's species.
All kind of stuff. I think I posted a picture of it, didn't I, somewhere. My Nexus 6 came in finally. Let me go get it. Let me show it to him.
Alright. What's up, Matthew? I think you put a picture of it on Instagram, but I can't remember.
It was the spinning one that Bubba did. I do like that one.
Sit here, can you see it? Let me demo this beaut. Let me see if I can see it on my thing here. We got the white limbs, silver writing, and the blue riser, which is a little darker than I really wanted. It's like a navy blue. I wasn't in a navy, but I still like it. Oh!
We were using the Gateway razor, little 2-inch razor feathers.
Yeah, they spell it weird, like R-A-Z-R or something like
Yeah.
that.
No. R-A-Y-Z-R, I think.
Something like that.
Something, it's weird.
Heck yeah, Avery's ready to come get one. I think we got a good selection of twos, Avery. Come pick you out a couple of them.
Yep.
Don't take it.
But yeah, this thing, I gotta get, TJ is laying me some strings out. I gotta figure out what color. I'm doing white and silver strings. I don't know what color serving I'm gonna put on them because blue is way too bright for this blue. I think I'm gonna go with TJ's recommendation and put gunmetal because that gunmetal is sort of the dark, but it's almost black. That's why I'm like, I wish I had another option, but I really don't. I mean, I could clear some stuff. But I don't know what I'm gonna do. TAC is going to open registration the next week or next
February the 10th.
Yeah, so soon.
And
somebody emailed me or texted me or something, and I'm sorry I didn't. In my head, I answered you, but I know I really didn't. I'm trying to think of who it was, and said that it says registration closed, but they got it closed on purpose. It's going to open up next week or whenever that is.
And from what I read, they are going to do like. You know, the last time we went, most of us were pretty much registered. We all sat there and registered, but now they're giving, if you register, you can register as a group. And so, like, if I get on there and I say, okay, TJ's group and You know, like if I put Jeremy's name or whoever's going, you have like a 5 minute time slot to get everybody in on that knock time, I think.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
I'd have to go reread it, but I think that was the gist of it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. When was it? End of April?
April 30th through May the 2nd, I think.
That's the one in Tennessee, so hopefully, I ain't heard of anything canceling, so hopefully we're good to go.
They did cancel one.
Did they?
Yeah, and I think it was the Vermont shoot, I
Gotcha.
think is the one, but they're adding another shoot.
And then R100, I hadn't even looked it up.
March 13th through the 14th for the Homer shoot, I think.
I think it's the first one of the year, so that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for us because that means they'll have the freshest targets.
Yeah.
I know they change out a lot of cores, but some of the big ones I don't think they change out except for when they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
So we get to shoot the freshest foam. So that's cool.
Yeah.
What color are you thinking, Avery? Which one you getting? What's going on, Samuel?
What up?
But yeah, the both those are cool. The R100, I'd kind of had enough of. We talked about it on the podcast or something, just because it gets kind of backed up during Saturday and Sunday. But the R100's in pretty much in Commerce, Georgia, which for us is about an hour south, and they got like a big Tanger outlet. It's a big shopping. I mean, it's really out in the middle of nowhere, but they got a big Tanger outlet. So people, it's right off Interstate 85. People go there to shop, but it's only like 10 minutes, if that, off the exit, and that's where the shoot's at. So I think it's well thought out because, like, if you have to travel there, you can bring the family. The men can shoot, and if the women want to go shop, it's literally just 10 minutes down the road, and there's a whole lot of places. But anyway, the R100 sometimes, especially on Saturday, can get backed up and you have to wait a while just because of mainly the African range, because there's like zebras and giraffes and elephants and all this stuff. But I'm ready to shoot.
On the primes,
I'm gonna need you to take it easy on us, Perry. I'm hoping. Originally we were worried because we're gonna have to shoot it Sunday, but now it's saying no rain. Originally it was gonna rain. I was like, well, but we may luck up. It looks like I don't think it's gonna rain till Monday.
on tuning the prime, it's pretty much, it's your basic, what would you say, a basic binary cam?
Yeah, it's just like a binary kit system. Starting last year, they sent us some shims. So if you have to shim it, which is 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, it's rare. It's rare. But if you have to shim it, they sent the dealer shims. So, and it's a one-piece shim. It's not really like a Matthews top hat. It's still it's a metal, kind of thick shim on each side. But so that is an option.
Mm-hmm. But I think we've had to shim one.
Yeah, it's rare. It's very rare. And then I've talked to other prime dealers, and they said the ones that they've shimmed, they felt like it was more of a grip issue, which that's fine. You know what I mean? If that's how you're gonna hold the bow, that's how you're gonna hold the bow. But they said they felt like it was more of a grip issue than anything.
Yeah.
But if you're local, Kiwi Bowman's having a 3D shoot this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a good setup. Up in 6 Mile, go to kiwibowman.com. Mr. Perry Burns is on here. He is the El Presidente of the Kiwi Bowman. So, when we go up in there, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, it'll be a lot of fun, and they got all kind of different classes. So, like, they got a lot of known yardage. If you want to shoot unknown, that's an option in some classes, I think. But, go check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Perry set the course up, so if you lose an arrow, find El Presidente, have a little powwow with him. I'm sure he'll give you $30 or $40 for your arrow. I'm kidding.
We don't have any 34s in, or the Nexus 4s, which is a 34-inch axle to axle. We don't have any in. They hadn't. We got
1 or 2 in, and they were gone, which is weird because I really think overall, I think the 32 is going to be the one. You know what I mean? Because you can kind of do a little bit of everything with it. You can with the 34 too, but usually the shorter bows is what we sell the most of, just because 80% ish hunting, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then you can still shoot at 3D, but that would have been cool if R100 would have been at Kiwi, but it is
Yeah.
a lot of. I'm just thinking about the one in Georgia there. There's a lot. Ain't no telling how many acres. They do it in like a park.
Yeah.
It would take some. Oh yeah, we got plenty of 32s.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of 32s. We still. I mean, we're waiting, and I've said this many times. I'm sorry if I said it to you, but we're waiting on a bunch of 34s and several 36s. I'm thinking they're just trying to get all the 32s pushed out mainly before they flip over and start manufacturing 34s and 36s.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have one 36 in that gun. What do they call it?
Hammered gray.
Hammered gray. We're out of 34s, but we got a lot more on the way. So hopefully any day. 32s, Morel and Fusion.
I don't have Morel Infusion. I have a Morel and Realtree Edge Limb.
I think the 34 last one was Morel and Fusion, wasn't it?
It was the last four was Grizzly.
It was Grizzly.
And Fusion.
Got a bunch of the new greens. They came in first, and then now we started getting a few other colors. But yeah, go up to the Kiwi Bowman before the Super Bowl starts. Fire off some arrows. You'll have a good time. I have been meaning to go to Bobby Brown and shoot for quite some time because it's been over a year since I've been there, and they got a nice setup. From here. It's a little. I mean, it's what, an hour 10, hour 15, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still worth it. By all means, I need to get a group together and go down there one day. When's the time change back?
I can't remember when. Ain't it normally like the first or second week of March?
Something like that.
I can't remember.
When the time changes back, it'd be neat, like on say a Thursday night. Maybe close the shop just a hair early and just say, hey, everybody wants to go shoot tonight. Meet us down there.
Perry's getting on to you.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna need some extra large targets. We're talking giraffes, elephants,
Hippopotamuses.
torture, talking about all these. Richard is in England, and they're not allowed to have any kind of shoots. So that is no fun. No fun at all. Yeah, I'm hoping Jackie's not rubbing off on me because that could be a bad thing.
Yeah, very bad.
Jackie, I think we mentioned it on something.
I think it was a podcast.
He came in Saturday and sat with us for a little bit, and he had the COVID. His color is still a little off, but he's coming around. So a couple weeks he ought to be back to Jackie White form.
Oh Lord.
But anyway, let me think. What else is going on? A couple bear bows came in. We got some. I don't even think I told you this. We got some Fast Eddie XLs coming. Some more.
More of
What's
it.
going on, Jeffrey?
You heard anything out of Sweet Seat or B3 yet?
No. We reached out. We've been looking. We've talked about this several times. We've been looking for another good 3D seat because the ones we like from Cottonwood Outdoors, they went out of business, which sucks. Anyway, Jack Wallace posted something about he just got a Sweet Seat, and I was like, I forgot all about them. I was looking at the other couple companies, and they were a little bit cheaper than the other ones, but probably better quality and a little taller. So I emailed them twice now and said, hey, we're interested in ordering a dozen of them. Can you send me pricing and all that? But I hadn't heard anything, so maybe I just need to find a phone number. Mike can get it from Jack this weekend.
Richard, if we did a round table podcast with everybody that worked here, then we'd probably get kicked off of YouTube.
It probably would. It could go wild.
if you go back and look, we did one not too long ago where it was me and you, Partain, and Jackie.
That's right. That's right.
That was before the.
It wasn't too long ago.
No, it wasn't that far back.
But yeah, we may try something like that soon. Perry, everything's been a little sketchy, to be honest with you. Right now, to be honest, is the lowest we've been on arrows in quite some time.
Yeah.
But we should have a big shipment coming in about 2 weeks. Some of the special order bows have took forever.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them's not too bad. It's a 20% longer than normal right now. You know, this time of the year normally it would take 2 or 3 weeks, and it's taking 4 or 5 weeks.
I know I've been seeing people saying 6 to 8 on
And
the 4s and the 6s.
Some of the weirdest like recurves. We've been trying to order some 35-pound sages just because it's a decent cheap recurve, and our distributors at least, nobody's got them. So that's been a couple 6-week process. These crossbow bolts that just came in over here, we literally have been waiting on them since July or August.
I think it was before.
It might have been before that. We waited and waited and waited. So I don't know. I know most arrows, at least the raw carbon of it comes from Mexico and all these other places. I'm sure there's probably with all the import stuff, there's God knows what's going on, but it's been a weird almost 12 months now, that is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of everybody had a good stockpile of stuff, but
Yeah.
with the COVID and everybody getting outside and shooting now, and I mean, all these companies probably had a good little bit of a buffer that
Yeah.
they went through all the buffers, so now they're pretty much starting from scratch, and
Yeah.
as soon as they can get it made, they starting to ship it out.
Well, and like 2 bow companies we deal with, Prime's in Michigan, and they had a big shutdown whenever it was last year. So they were shut down for almost a month, and that kind of threw a wrench in a few things. And then PSE, their carbon section of their factory caught fire, I guess about summertime, and it wasn't a huge deal, but it kind of threw a little wrench in some of their stuff. But one of my listeners, some Maxis 5 millimeters. Nexus 6 is $10.90. No. We found out. I thought they were the same price as the 2s and the 4s, and then this one came in, and I don't even know. I didn't ever even look. I just know it was more.
I can't remember how much more.
I'll have to look.
I can't remember.
I feel like it was like $200 more.
Yeah.
Because the 2s and 4s are $10.99. I'm pretty sure this was like another $200, but I'm glad you asked me that, because I mentioned it to you and then never looked at what the price was.
Yeah.
I like Victory arrows. We've ordered some, and I think we may even still have a few here, but I almost went real deep with them last year, and I didn't. It's not because I didn't like them. We've dealt with Black Eagle mostly. We probably sell 80% Black Eagle, 15% Easton, 5%. Well, we sell a few Carbon Express, and then a few Victories, and then a little bit of this and that. But I like them. They're good people. They make a lot of different arrows, big and small and all that. So I shot Victory arrows. I guess it would have been
I'm gonna say
2007, 8, 9, somewhere in there. I shot their tournament arrows. Didn't have a bit of trouble out of them.
I wanted to play with that extortion one they come out with.
Yeah.
That had the steel mesh woven into the carbon.
It was weird because they really amped it up at the ATA show, and then I really didn't hear much else about it. So
I
don't
didn't
know.
either.
So I don't know. But anyway, I'll be glad when we get more back to normal. I still go places and forget to have a mask with me, or I'll think I got one and won't have one. I got shunned at the Harbor Freight. I had to go up there and get something or another, and I pulled up, and as soon as I pulled up, I thought, I bet I ain't got a mask. And I dug through the truck and dug through everything, my coat that was in there and everything. So I was like, I'm just going in. Maybe they'll offer me one, or maybe they got some for sale. As soon as I walked in, welcome to Harbor Freight. Oh, you got to have a mask on. I said, no, I'm sorry. I really don't want to drive back home. Have you got one, or I'll buy some? And they did have some to buy, but I got shunned. And I actually told them I was getting some more of them airlines for the air stretchers back there. I said, literally, I need 12 of these or whatever I bought, and I'll get out of here. And she was like, okay. But I seen some masks, and I wasn't trying to be rude about it. I just completely forgot.
We went to the Walmart down in Lawrence, which is from where I live about 35 minutes. And of course, me and my wife and my little boy, we went in. We all had our mask on, but the little guy at the door, he just, hey, how y'all? And there was people going in and out, no mask, wasn't saying anything. So I guess it just depends on where you live.
Where was I at? This Walmart in town, or closest to us, they got the mask police. I had to have it out with them that one time because I forgot my mask, and they previously would hand out one. And I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. And I rode all the way over there, and they stopped me, and I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, I don't have one. Have you got one? Can I buy one? I don't care. I just need, They didn't have none. They told me to go to the Dollar Tree. So I walked all the way down to the Dollar Tree. They wouldn't let me in. I said, I'm here to buy a mask so I can go to Walmart. And they said, well, you can't come in to buy the mask if you ain't got a mask. And I was like, okay. So I went back to the Walmart, and I told the little fella, well, I try not to get too wound up, but I got wound up this day. The whole story of it is, it was my mama's birthday. I went to buy her TV had something happen to it, and lines were going across it. So I was going to buy her a new TV. And I was like, I'm here to buy a large TV. If you will get a manager or somebody to hand me a mask, I will buy that TV and get out of here. So they brought the manager, and I told him the same thing, and he was nice as he could be and gave me a mask. But that guy at the door, whoop, if I see him again. Anyway, that's my Walmart mask story. But I went to a Walmart somewhere. Where would I have been? I don't know where I was at, and nobody had a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of where I was at.
It's crazy. Like I said, we went down there. Ain't been down there in a
I mean,
while.
I'd prefer to not wear one, but I ain't trying to break the rules or nothing.
No, me neither.
So if you got to wear one, you got to wear one. But I can't think of where I was at now. I went to Walmart somewhere and nobody had one on, and I thought, I just can't think of where I was in. Greenwood. That's where I was at last week.
I'm surprised because normally they
didn't have nobody going on.
It's crazy.
No comments on the mask. Everybody went quiet. Oh, man. I think one day...
A hazmat suit.
I have not messed with this Shrewd Scope with collar for
I hadn't either.
large diameter. I don't think that's what Rodney's got.
I don't know.
He may have already sold it. Rodney was trying to sell a CBE with a Shrewd Scope, but I think I ordered him that scope. I don't think it was that one.
I can't remember which one he got.
I can't either. I can't either. I think we ought to get all our YouTube buddies over here one day, and we'll have a shop cleaning, because we got a mess. There's arrows laying everywhere, cut off arrows that our bucket didn't catch, and they're in the floor. We still got a mess from where we put up lights, the new LED lights in here, and
Well, we still got to finish putting overhead ones up.
yeah, we got in the shop. When I built this room or whatever, I wanted it like super bright because I knew we'd be making a lot of bowstrings and all that. And Perry is still not bright enough for Jackie. You could wear sunglasses in here, and Jackie, he went and bought him a little light on an arm. But anyway, I mean, he's like 98 years old. But anyway, I put lights all around the wall, so we got like we got about 10 or 12 around the walls, and then we got all of them on the top too. So we got all the ones around the walls changed out, and then the little shooting hallway in there and the office and all that stuff. But we still got to do the ones up top. Really, the reason we hadn't done it is we got a 14-foot ceiling, so we're going to have to get a couple 10-foot ladders and get up there. Wore a gas mask in World War II. That's great.
I've Stanley's like, just tell me you got a medical condition. I've always thought about saying that, but it'd be my luck. I'd be the one going to jail having to stomp somebody.
Yeah. Dang. I think we're in Anderson. The city of Anderson passed a mask ordinance, and I seen where you could get some kind of fine if you were inside somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mick, the LED lights, I'm hoping saves us a fortune on power, because the power bill for this shop is outrageous, and I'm trying to. Well, once we get the top one switched back, I'll give it a cycle or two and see what the power bill goes down to. But a buddy of mine that owns a pawn shop, he switched a lot of his out and said it would cut it in like half. So, hoping for the same thing. And when I wish I would have known, because when I did what we call the showroom in there, where people come in and where all the stuff for sale, I originally put the LED lights, but I didn't find. I did that room or that side of the shop after this side. I didn't find those LEDs until we did that side, or I'd have went ahead and done it to start with, 7-8 years ago. But it's all good.
Have we tried the Bear Revival?
We have.
Mm-hmm.
We ordered 4 or 5 of them. Was it last year or year before? Whatever year it came out.
Year before. Yeah.
Not a bad bow. The common theme we seen with that bow, and I swear everyone we sold, people would hit their arm, even though it was set on their normal draw length, and some of them we even shortened up a ½ inch shorter than their normal draw length. And even me, when we first got one in, it would hit a quarter size spot right above my wrist every time. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the string is deflecting in that far on that particular bow or what, but that was my only sort of pet peeve with that bow. Yeah, it's definitely brighter.
Yep.
Especially once we get the top ones changed out, it's going to be really bright.
Mm-hmm. Might have to wear some sunglasses.
Get a tan. But yeah, and then I went there. So in town, there's an LED light store that I didn't even know about, and it's like a big warehouse. I went up there, and I talked to them about, you can actually rewire the fixtures you got for the fluorescents, and Perry knows about this because that's what they did at Kiwi Bowman. Pretty much you just cut the ballast loose and straight wire it, but it was going to be the same price for one bulb to do that way as it was for the whole fixture, just to get the whole brand new fixture. So I was like, well, and like what they did at Kiwi was, I think they just put one bulb in each fixture, and it's still super bright, because it's LED and all. But I was like, well, instead of rewiring and all that, we'll just snatch them down and put the new ones up. But they were cheap. I mean, an 8-foot LED, the whole fixture wasn't, but what was it?
$28.
$28, yeah. But yeah, we got like, 4 or 5 projects.
Yeah.
We got the lights. We added a bunch of stretchers, which that's pretty much almost done. We got like a camera out front, because when we're over here in the work side, making strings and all this sort of thing, a lot of times you can't even hear if somebody pulls up. But the little TV is hooked to is at the back, so our string machines are on these tables, and some people face back and some people face forward. So if you're facing forward, you don't see the TV. So anyway, we're gonna hang a TV actually kind of above my head over here, so that everybody can see if somebody pulls up. So we can obviously go out there and help them.
Mhm.
And we got that project. We got it finished. This has been an ongoing project for like a year and a half, but we restuffed. We out beside the shop. If you've ever been here, you know. But we got the big bag targets from 10 to 100 yards. And used to, well, initially we just set them on the ground, but the water gets in them and makes it's a mess. So we have recovered them and built 3 or 4 stands with a shed top over them. And then we got busy and just hadn't done it. And they've been sitting out there forever. So I probably need to, and now wood's skyrocketed because of COVID, but I need to get that done. I've got the metal. I hadn't bought the wood yet. I got the metal and everything. And then we got, I don't know, it seems like there's 20,000 projects.
Yeah. Seems like we get a day where we can do a project. It never turns out the way we always either gets busy or we're trying to play catch up or.
I like ketchup.
I do too.
Mustard, probably mustard's my favorite.
I'll take ketchup over mustard.
I'm not a fan of the mayonnaise, but it has grown on me in the past, say, 10 years. I'll eat it on some, like, I'll eat the banana and mayonnaise sandwich. That's one of my favorites.
I'm sorry, I
'Cause
can't do it.
My grandma made them for me when I was a kid. And the Chick-fil-A mayonnaise, Travis Haney, he's probably not watching. He's a buddy of ours from high school. One day he told me that he was dipping his Chick-fil-A nuggets or whatever in the mayonnaise, and I'm like, you nasty. So finally I tried it, and I don't know if you've ever tried this. It's good. So what I'll do is get me my honey mustard or whatever I get from Chick-fil-A, and I'll put just a dab of mayonnaise on the nugget, and then hit it with that mustard. Woo!
Nah.
I'll tell you what I started adding horseradish to when I cook my shrimp. When we go to Indianapolis, this is a quick story.
Uh-oh.
I hear you, James. High five. We went to Indianapolis, and I kept hearing about this restaurant, and it's called St. Elmo's. And the thing you were supposed to get there is a shrimp cocktail. Well, I didn't read up on it. I just thought it's going to be a good shrimp, and it was some big old shrimp. TJ and Vanessa was with, and me and Dawn were there. I ordered this thing, and I just got me one of them big old shrimp, and they come in a little cup, and it's completely submerged in, my nose itching, in the cocktail sauce. I wasn't warned that these were going to be the hottest shrimp I have ever ate in my life. So we were there at the ATA show, what, about 2017?
Yeah.
2018, somewhere. I throw this thing in my mouth, and I swear to this day, I've never tasted anything as hot. The top of my head went numb. I can't explain it. It must be something to do with the circuit of nerves or something. I looked at Dawn and was like, I think I'm about to pass out. And by then, Vanessa looked at me like, ah! And I'm thinking, this ain't funny. Like, I'm tunnel visioned. And I mean, on fire is not the word. But anyway, so I came to like them, but not eating a big one at one time. Like, you cut that thing into about 3 parts so you don't, like, die. But anyway, so pretty much what they do is they make their own cocktail sauce, but they put a lot of horseradish. I don't know what else in it, but I got to where I will now. I'm not big on spicy stuff, but I like it maybe a little bit spicy. I'll dump some horseradish in my cocktail sauce and make a milder version of that thing. But they good. I'm about to starve, Samuel. And if you live around here, Duke's is about the only way you can go.
Yeah.
But them things, I'm telling you, I about got knocked out of my seat. It was rough. It was rough.
I can't remember how much water or tea or whatever you had to drink. I know you went through it.
It was bad. It was bad. We are talking about spicy shrimp. Very spicy. I don't know. We're talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. We're talking about rewiring lights and shrimp. Mayonnaise. We had a mayonnaise discussion earlier. TJ hates it. I used to hate it, but it's grown on me a little bit.
I'm not. I mean, if they put it on my hamburger or somebody messes up, I'll eat it. But I'm not a big fan of it.
We ought to have him send some of his hot sauce, but we will get TJ's brother that helps us that goes by the nickname Bubba we'll get him to try it on one of these things. Oh, I love shrimp. Oh, it was hot. If you'd have put a whole one in your mouth, it was hot. We've been every time we're there, we go back to the restaurant because it's real good, and I still order them. I actually ordered 2 things of them last time, but I'll cut them up.
Like I said, I've got to where I eat some pretty hot stuff.
I was just expecting a casual shrimp.
Vanessa's mama made some hot sauce one time out of some scorpion peppers, and I was like, I know this is gonna be hot, and so I just took a toothpick and just dabbed it in there, and where I messed up was I let it hit my tongue. I couldn't feel my tongue for about 30 minutes, but it was good. But I just couldn't feel my tongue for about 30 minutes.
Now that Vanessa's here,
Uh-oh.
I think we should ask the question that's on everybody's mind. How long is TJ gonna grow out his beard? I'm thinking he's going down to his nipples. We don't know. His brother, he don't know what to think. His brother is completely intimidated by the beard. He told him the other day he didn't know how to take him, and he can't even look at him because of the beard. I like the beard. I mean, I don't I was about to say some funny stuff that would have been took, so I'm not going to say it. I think the beard looks good on T-Bob.
Oh, Lord.
I went to my buddy's house right outside of Philly. His mom made roast beef sandwiches on his. Vanessa, how would you like him to grow it? I'm gonna tell a quick story. My very first helper out here was my cousin Terry. And Terry went from a little goatee like TJ to that joker's got a beard down to his belly button now. And his girlfriend loves it. Like, she will not let him trim it, but he looks like a hillbilly. I don't know if TJ's gonna do that.
I don't know how far I'm gonna let it go. I ain't made up my mind yet. The hardest part, you can ask me another. I about shaved some gun off because it got to itching so bad. I bought all kind of stuff to put in there to make it quit itching. And
I got a good lice treatment. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll put some Brute cologne on TJ and send him home. Vanessa will be on him, son. Well, the thing with the beard, and I've never grown mine like down, but you get it too burly and your bowstring starts messing with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, summer will be the test. I feel like if I went baby faced, one, my head would look large because I'm fat. My head would be like a basketball. And then 2, it'd just be weird.
Well, I know. Well, I couldn't remember. I had to go to for it. I told Vanessa one time, I said, I'll just shave it off. I said, I never forgot what my chin looks like. And then I was like, no, I better not do that.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of what else has happened here. It's been cold the past couple mornings. 24. It's probably even colder north of us a little bit, but
I had 21 this morning.
I don't mind it being cooler now that I'm getting old and fat, but this is a little too cool.
That was the funny thing. Right before I started growing my beard, I went and bought razors. I went and bought some razor blades for my razor and some more shaving cream.
I don't feel as bad. It's going to be negative 21 Saturday, and James said we got 35 inches of snow Sunday.
I'd like to see the snow, but not 35 inches of it.
The Beagle didn't recognize him after he shaved his beard. It was colder than 21 when Vanessa left, but she leaves at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah. It all depends. I think she was at work at 4 o'clock the other morning. I think she left the house at 2 something. Or 3.
3:30.
Yep.
I think what could we do? Let me think about this before I say it. I mean, it ain't about us.
Oh,
We ought to go live, raise about $50, and then have Bubba let us give him a haircut live on on here.
he'll end up watching it after a while.
If y'all didn't know, Bubba, his brother that helps us, we call him Bubba. His real name's Matthew. He decided to cut his own hair, and I will be honest, it's looking rough. I was concerned for the young man, and maybe we should give him his next haircut.
We'll let Squirt do it.
If we'd have had a little, James, if we'd have had a little bit of precipitation the last few days, we'd have had some ice or snow or something. I still think we're going to have a pretty decently big one at some point because the weather's been acting mighty weird. But so far, so good.
Well, you know, we don't never get a snow until February or March.
It does seem like it's late. I posted it on Facebook. I don't remember somewhere. I think it was Facebook last night. Have you ever shot 3D in the snow? I remember. I think I was. How old would I have been? 14, 15, somewhere or another. First time I shot in the snow was at Kiwi Bowman. Come out into the little, I call it a field. It really ain't a field. But anyway, and it started snowing, and it really started snowing. And I think 2 years ago, did you shoot with us? We shot on Saturday at, when Hart County was shooting.
I didn't make it to that one.
And then we shot Sunday at Kiwi, and both, it wasn't physically snowing at Kiwi, but it was on
Snow, yeah.
But it was actually snowing over there. And I think I shot one time at Tab in the snow a couple years ago.
Well, you know, we shot Tab that time after the little ice storm come through.
That's right.
Because they canceled it for Saturday, but kept it for Sunday.
Yep. But yeah, I like a good one snow a year to look at. And then I'm the lizard lick bowhawk. What's that lizard lick fella's name? I'm gonna say this about him.
I can't remember.
They brought him to the ATA show in the Bowtech booth about 3 or 4 years ago. Whenever, I don't remember. And I moseyed over there just gonna take a picture with the fella, and he was one of the rudest people I've ever met. I was not impressed. It's the Sweet Seats. To my knowledge, the Sweet Seat was like the first 3D chair that was mass produced that I'd heard of. Probably, I don't know how many years ago now, 15 maybe. And it's a nice built seat. So I'm hoping, I just need to, I'll get their number, I'll call them. I emailed them twice, but
Matthews switchweight cams versus regular concentric cam, like VXR versus the Traverse.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a love or hate. Like they're. I don't think, in my opinion, that I love one over the other. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I think the switch weight, you know, it's got the advantage of you change out mods and go different weights, obviously, but I don't know that the concentric, in my testing, like performs better because it don't do that. Brad, the ones we use, it's made by Cottonwood Outdoors, and it's called the Spider Shot 3D seat. If you can find one new or used, definitely buy that one. Mm-hmm. Like I'm by far sold. It's a little bit taller, it's bigger. It's got a detachable cooler. You can do all kind of stuff with it. And they went out of business. And we were probably selling between a dozen and a dozen and a half of those a year. And then last year we called them. They didn't show up at the ATA show. Called them. Couldn't get a hold of them. Finally, somebody posted and said they were out of business. Yep. Crap. The center. What was the shop over in the Centerville Curve? Any other time I would think of it.
Yeah. I can't think of it.
It's funny because that shop, the Centerville, in the little Centerville Curve there, those people went back to school and now they're chiropractors, but it's been an archery shop, a fly fishing shop, a bakery, a chiropractor place. Them people's done it all.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck, what's his name? I wasn't trying to think of it. I'd think of it.
You'll think of it as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, I like the old Matthews myself. I've still got my Feather Max. It's a 97 model. That was my first Matthews, and I still got it. But I miss some of those old bows. You could do all kind of stuff with those bows and play with them, make them shoot faster, different, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What was Chuck's last name? Z7 was a good one. I think as far as sales go, that Z7 Extreme,
Yeah.
I don't know about up to this point, but several years after that Z7 Extreme, you could tell they kept kind of redesigning it, you know, because they knew they'd been sold so many of them.
Yeah.
They better. Yeah, I still got my Q2XL too, hanging somewhere in here.
Hanging right yonder.
I briefly had the first Conquest, and those were cool. But then I bought when the Conquest 2 come out, they did the anodized riser. You could get like lime green. What do they call that? Was it kiwi? I think they called it kiwi. I had a 2 and a 3 I shot, and the 3 I got in the root beer color. So the 2 I shot for 3D, the 3 I shot for indoor, and I love and the Q2XL I shot for field. But I love those bows.
I think we have a black nose button out there.
Yeah, I know there's a green.
I know there's a green, a red, and a blue.
He's gonna scope it out. But yeah, I love the old Matthews bows.
Yeah, we got a black one.
We got a black one. Even the MQ1. That was I've got a lot of old Matthews books somewhere. They might actually be in the attic now in here. But the MQ1 was like a game changer. Mm-hmm. And then the MQ32, I mean, that was the first short bow, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like everybody was like, what? And then you shot it and it was like, this thing will shoot 10-4.
Right.
But yeah, I love those. We still occasionally see some of the older stuff, but now mostly the oldest Matthews we see is the Z7 Extreme era, you know, 2010-ish. Mm-hmm. Few older monsters come in, but we see now it's getting to where we see a lot of Tri-X's and that sort of thing. But
we've seen a few LXs come in, but that's about it. Or I don't even think we've had many Creed or Creed XS's.
I hadn't seen one in a while.
Last one we did was Russ's last year.
32 bows. I had the Switchback XT and sold it. I had the Outback and sold it. The Switchback XT and the Switchback were popular bows. Mm-hmm. They, I feel like the duds that Matthews had was the Creed XS. It was it slowed down a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just remember it coming out and not a lot of people said much about it, even though, I mean, it's a great bow, but I think a lot of people, me included, freaked when the Monster series of bows came out, you know, because it was like solo cam, here's a dual cam bow. Do what?
Yeah.
And it hurt my feelings a little bit. I mean, when that was back, we worked at Bucks and Bass, and we were Matthews dealers, and I mean, they'd sent out, when Hoyt came out, or really didn't come out with it, Darton came out with it, but when Hoyt started doing the cam and a half thing, you know, Matthews sent out literally a video and a big brochure on why that could go out of tune and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like, solo cam is the way. And then they come out with a Monster, and I'm like, I don't like this. They switched what they've been talking about. But you can only get so much speed out of a solo cam is ultimately what it boiled down to. So they went to the 97 T-Rex. We got a couple old bows that got dropped off. We got an old Alpine bow. We got what else is up there? Oh, there's an old PSE.
There's that old High Country.
Yeah, I forgot about the old High Country. We get a few oldies a year to play with.
Mm-hmm.
But
We had a couple of Buckmasters come through.
Yeah, that's still. I remember at one point, one of the Buckmasters, they actually sold in Walmart. I remember seeing it in a Walmart back in the day. So I think between that and it just being a popular bow, bought a Status Echo for 400. That's a good deal. Good string. I could use some work. Yeah, I mean, we can make you a string set and ship it to you. Just holler at us.
Mm-hmm.
Make you a nice pink and purple one. Looking good. My foot went to sleep. That's not good. Oh, now it's doing some kind of cramp.
I hadn't run any of those grips, Trent.
I almost did, but that's you. But I didn't. I do like the idea of it. And after George Riles made the video about it, even Lancaster started carrying the Sugru. I had never heard about it till the George video, and I was like, But yeah, there's a lot of old bows. Like if I could, going back to the Matthews MQ1, like I don't really want one to shoot every day, but like if I could find a steal on one, if somebody come in here with it or whatever, I'd probably would buy it. Just like I had the Q2. I really liked. I wish I would have kept it. I ordered a Q2 when it came out, and they put my name in the grip and a little deer head and all that. I could kick myself in the butt for getting rid of that bow. I did sand my name out of the grip before. I might have changed. No, I think I sanded it out before I sold it.
Yeah, Q2 was one. The Outback and the Switchback were probably.
The Outback I never got along with. To me, on that bow, the draw length ran a little bit too long. I should have got it a half inch shorter, but didn't really know because I ordered it right when they came out. And but the Switchback, when I had the Switchback XT, it did well for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who I sold it to back then. And then back going older bows, or not super old, but mid 90s to early 2000s. I remember the PSC Baby G. That was a little fat, at the time popular bow. And then when they came out with the X-Force stuff, I remember being like, hold up, what is this? Because we carried PSC back then, and it was super parallel, split limbs. It was still, everybody's talking solid limb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ask some bow questions. But the PSCs kind of took everybody a step forward at that point in time. They were fast. Still have a few of them come through.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? We're talking maybe on the podcast, a couple companies I guess that kind of went away. Whisper Creek.
Yeah, Whisper Creek.
Whisper Creek.
Limb Saver quit making their bows, I think.
The weird thing about the Limb Saver bow, it was the weirdest looking thing. It looked like it come off the space shuttle, but it shot good. And hinge versus back tension, I don't know.
I'd be more tempted to go back tension than I would hinge.
That's what I was going to say.
That's just what I'm thinking.
What I need to do, and I've said this for years, and we talked about this before too, but I'd like to, as soon as 3D season's over one year, go back tension. I don't know which one I would even want to go with now, and go about 6 months of using it almost every day and get used to it and go from there. But yeah, we make traditional strings. A lot of people have went to, I guess, got kind of bored with compound bows and jumped into a recurve. I know 2 or 3 people, matter of fact, that jumped into recurves within the last 18 months and have already killed deer with them, and part of me is like, man, should I do this? I don't know. I mean, I've got a recurve and everything, and once in a blue moon, I'll go out there and shoot it. And I, fairly quickly can, at 20 yards, shrink my groups down to, maybe just a little bigger than a softball, if just randomly shooting. But I could see where if you practice a good bit out to say 25 or whatever, you could get.
Yeah, Samuel, that is a 3-piece set on that one.
Oh yeah,
The ultralight.
That's what my Feather Max is. A tree bark camo.
I had a Z light. That was my
That's
first
right.
Matthews
That's
was
right.
Z light.
Yep. My dad had a Feather Light. But yeah, that old tree bark camo. I remember back then, I think the tournament colors you could get was like a solid red anodized, a solid blue anodized. I don't remember if you could get black. No, you might could. I can't remember, but
Didn't they have a yellow one?
that was a little later.
Okay.
But the first time I seen that, I think it was a blue one. I was like, "Oh, this is nice." But now there's so. I mean, looking back, it's like that was nothing.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many colors you can get now.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the first Conquest bow came out, and a lot of people were winning all these tournaments with it anyway. And the thing to do with that bow was you could get brass limb cups and add weight. So I remember the thing to do was put a brass limb cup on the bottom. We still got several people that when we have a shoot out here that come, and do traditional. But for a while, we had a pretty big group of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd pull my recurve out, and go shoot around with them or whatever. But we don't. Some of them just kind of got out of it, and this, that, and the other. So
We see very few Oneidas come through. I mean, what, maybe 1 or 2 a year now?
yeah, I mean it's hardly any. At one point, this was probably 2016 maybe. I thought, well, maybe we should get an Oneida dealership, and maybe it would draw some bow fishing people and this, that, and other in here. But them jokers, I didn't realize new they were that much money. I mean, it was, what were they, like $1,000 new? I was like, woo, okay.
I think some of them even more than that.
I'm used to seeing the used ones, for a couple $100, but oh yeah. Well, it's been a while. I used to see a couple of them old XI. What about the old pendulum? Oh, the old pendulum sight. That joker. That was the thing. I guess in the
Yeah.
early to mid '90s. You had the red light on it. You had that pendulum sight.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's actually a bow hanging up over there with a pendulum sight on it.
really.
I mean, it's a newer one, but it's not.
There was a small resurgence in pendulums, almost, or at least around here that I remember in about 2000. Well, about 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Savage, they came out with this real bright fiber optic pendulum sight. I remember knowing several people that shot it, and then it kind of fizzled back out.
Yeah.
I mean, the pendulums work.
Mm-hmm.
They work. And I know a few guys will come in with them every now and then, but they just pretty much say it's nice, not worrying about yardage or whatever, and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cobra. I remember now Cobra, I'll be honest, Cobra, the rep came in last year with some Cobra stuff, and they got some nice stuff. To me, Cobra was like nice stuff. Matter of fact, on my old, I have to go find it, my old Feather Max bow, there's still a Cobra lighted sight on it, and that was like revolutionary at the time, you know what I mean? And then Cobra kind of went to junk,
Mm-hmm.
and now I feel like they're back, but you don't hear as much about them. Cobra was a real popular thing a while back, at least around here.
Yep.
We had a shop about an hour north of us that was a big new breed dealer from about 13, 14 up until 2 or 3 years ago. So we would see a lot of them because of that shop come through.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the past year, we've probably only had 1 or 2 in.
Yeah.
Is new breed even still a thing, or is it gone? I know the guy, Kyle Knoll, he started new breed, real nice guy. I talked to him several times at shows and stuff. He stepped out of it. He's an engineer, and he went back to work for like Georgia Pacific or something, making mega bucks, I'm sure. And I think the second in command type guy sort of bought it out and was going to sell direct to consumer. This was going on, what, 2 years ago now, or year and a
Maybe
half.
a little longer.
And so anyway, but I hadn't heard anything about them. And they quit going to the ATA show 2 years ago. That was sort of a uh-oh. And I hadn't heard anything. So, yeah, Kyle's like the nicest dude, most down to earth, would talk to you like anybody, even though he's probably like a rocket scientist wizard, you know what I mean?
Wasn't it New Breed that a bunch of the people back here in the actual machine shop actually bought it?
Maybe so.
And they were trying to keep it up, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen a new bow come out this year from them, so I don't know if they still are.
Steve just got here. We got to start over.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's take our shirts back off. Yeah, I mean, New Breed, it's a good bow. I'll have to do a little research and see if they're still, I don't know, I could be wrong. I would think they'd still at least be small batch producing bows, but I don't know. Wait.
Like I said, I could have swore the last I read that there was a bunch of them in the machine shop had went in and got it because they were fixing to close it, or they did close it.
I think right before Kyle left, they started doing custom finishing and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they were just trying to grab it, whatever, to try to keep everything running. But you could send any bow to them, and they would do a custom dip or finish or whatever, and that lasted a little while. And then the blade was like their big bow. You know what I mean? It came out, it looked cool, everybody jumped on it, and then I felt like they just tried to feed off of it for too long, and then it just fell apart. But Ranch Fairy, I think he's got a point. But the only thing I don't know about the Ranch Fairy is, like, I do believe in a properly tuned bow, obviously. You know what I mean? I think, and I ain't saying that he don't, but I think your cams need to be timed. There's a bunch of stuff you can do to help, the forgiveness of the bow. But then what he's doing, I mean, it works too, obviously, playing with pretty much your arrow spine and getting it perfect. So, I mean, this past year, we've had so many people come in wanting to do Ranch Fairy style stuff. We're fine with it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people come in and was like, oh, I went to this shop and we're not going to do that. Well, we happy to do whatever, but I do think there's a tuning portion of it that he maybe don't really get into that should be done. But beyond that, yeah, everybody's wanting to shoot a heavy arrow, and he's got if you watch his stuff, a pretty simple way to go about doing it.
String material, what would you say, X99 and speed knots?
Yeah, I'd probably go X99 material and brass speed knocks and roll with it. I think it's over. I mean, I'm not going to shoot a 700 or 800 grain or whatever arrow. I've killed plenty of deer with even a 350 grain arrow, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I kind of get what he's going at, but I think there's a certain threshold that you're going so slow that it's not, making any sense.
Mix on to something there.
I'm looking. Yeah, I agree. I mean, looking back, the first deer I ever shot with a bow, it was an old Browning that I was a kid, and I had on 35 pounds, shooting an old Beeman, the first Beeman Hunter arrows with a 75 grain Muzzy, and it did a complete pass through at 38 yards. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm going to Africa, we might talk 100-pound bows and 800 grain arrows, but around the United States, I don't know.
My thing is, you start getting, and I mean, I understand people want to go heavy. I understand the science behind it. I understand all that behind it. But, you start getting too heavy. Well, of course, you're going heavy weight on the air, so you're going to start losing speed. And, if I was to go out west and hunt a elk or up north hunt a moose or something, go to Canada or somewhere and hunt a moose or something like that. And I can understand, bumping my air weight up and everything like that. But I know from some of the people I've talked to that's hunted out west elk hunting, they're like, we're taking 70, 80, 90 yard shots. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to take that on an animal. I'd like for them to be a little bit closer. So, I mean, you get into an issue of how much clearance are you getting on your sight and how you're having to set your rest and your sight up to get the clearance for those longer range shots.
It shoots 58 pounds, 28 inch, axis 340, 100 grain. Yep. Well, and another problem we see is a lot of rednecks come in here and shoot the deer right in the shoulder. You can't do that, you know what I mean, and expect it to blast through it like a freaking 7 mag or something. So I just, I think of the stories we hear, and my taking a part of those stories, at least 70 or 80% of the people that come in here and say, I hate this XYZ broadhead. I shot a deer and it didn't go, whatever, they hit it in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Whether they meant to or not, that's what happened. I mean, I've had deer and I accidentally went a little too far toward the shoulder and had but I think that's mostly what it is. Even junk broadheads should go through, pretty much do a pass through for the most part. But anyway, we've been on here quite a while.
Yeah.
I just realized that. I guess we'll wrap this thing up and get off here and find some food. But anyway, this might be the longest live chat we've ever done, like an hour and 10 minutes.
I think so.
Yeah, you get some big pin gaps with the heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do. It's I don't know. Back 10 years ago or more, definitely more. Speed was king, and now it's a lot of people wanting heavy arrows, and we'll do whatever you want us to do, but
or we'll at least try.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Heck yeah, Adam. We'll get you fixed up. I remember we've talked about this before, but like particularly the 90s, it don't matter if you had a 30-inch draw or not. That's what you were going to shoot.
Yep.
Because that got you the most speed. I remember going with my dad when he bought his first Matthews. I mean, I didn't know any better really at the time, but they sold him a 30. He's actually a 28 and a half, according to the bow, 28 and a half, 29, just according to the bow, but he was 30-inch draw, getting that speed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll get off here.
Yep.
We'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for listening to us ramble about bows and mayonnaise and whatever else. But
did you put the link for the giveaway in here?
I didn't in this one. We're giving away a Muddy Ducks custom tumbler. You can decide on the design and the whole 9 yards. It'll be the last live feed of this month. I didn't put the link in this description, but if you go to the podcast that came out Tuesday, I think it was 75.
I think so.
There's a link. Just go in and put your name, email address, and we will draw it out of a thing the end of the month, and that'll be cool. Next week I'll make it a point to bring in my tumbler that she made me, and she made TJ one. I mean, these things are sharp, but she can make whatever. I mean, she can put anything on it you want. But she did ours like wood grain with the logo on it and all this. It's nice. So that'll be cool. We'll see y'all soon.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
See y'all.